moving along here.
All right, move it right along.
Speaking of welfare states and people taking care of everything, New York City is a mess.
What?
Yes, New York City is a mess.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Just ask any New Yorker, they'll tell you.
Sure. Well, since Bill DeBlasio has been mayor, the restrictions in New York City, or the laws in New York City, have been relaxed extremely.
Some of the laws.
Some of the laws.
Not the gun laws.
And basically the taxpayers are the ones picking up the bill.
Of course they are.
In the search for the perfect metaphor to sum up Bill DeBlasio's misbegotten mayorality, it will be hard to top the scene at City Hall the other day. The city council under new speaker Corey Johnson wanted to know how much taxpayer money the city is spending on expanding homeless services and what it's getting in return.
Okay.
Homeless services.
Yeah.
Johnson grew frustrated after failing to get specifics from de Blasio's budget director, that would be Melanie Herzog, about the cost of hotel rooms and private apartments.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Saying, "We demand an answer."
Yeah, pal.
We never got one, with Herzog giving the average cost of a single room at, drumroll please, $175 a night.
Seems good.
But saying she couldn't give a total because it changes daily.
Well, it's $175 a night, but that's got to house what? 8-10 homeless guys?
No, that's per person.
What?
That's a per person amount.
Jeez. They're living large.
In other words, nobody knows how much money de Blasio is spending on a war he is losing.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to know if they also get the fucking the in-room bar too. Take care of these people, for God's sakes.
Right.
They should be able to drink the little miniatures, shouldn't they?
Sure.
Eat some of those fucking $11 peanuts. They're hungry, for fuck's sake. Back, give them room service. Get them a burger for fucking $33. Come on.
For the record, Comptroller Scott Stringer estimates the total homeless bill will come to a staggering, drumroll please, $2.6 billion. That's a billion with a B. $2.6 billion in the next fiscal year. 2.6 billion.
That seems reasonable.
In a year.
For one fucking city's homeless problem.
Yes. Which would mean an increase of 132% over the 1.1 billion spent during the Michael Bloomberg final year. Because the amount has been climbing consistently, the council estimates that de Blasio already has added about $2.8 billion during his 4+ years in office. That represents a gigantic social experiment.
I'm just trying to do some math here. 2.6 billion
divided by 365.
365. That's days. That is $7 million a day.
Yeah.
Just for homeless.
Yeah.
So, if there are, 100,000 homeless people, that's, 100,000 each? Be 100,000 each if there was 700. If there was 700,000 homeless people, each would get $100,000.
Yeah.
Again, my math is fucking shit. I'm sure that's wrong, but that is a fucking lot of people, man.
Look at Deep Cut in the chat room.
Hey, they can make fun of me not being good at math all they want. There's truth to that. I'm terrible at math. I'm good at other things. I've got a memory like nobody's business. But when it comes to fucking math, I am terrible.
Right.
I'm the worst.
And so does another element of DeBlasio's mayorality coming into focus. He has promoted his wife, Shirlane McCray, to something like a co-mayor.
Co-mayor?
A co-mayor. Maybe the city council will be able to get straight answers from her. McCray long has played a close role in her husband's duties, but usually behind the scenes. She participated in key interviews during the early days of the administration, but it was the mayor who had made the announcements. Now they've expanded her role Now they've expanded her role and gone public. McCray played a big role in the selection and the announcement of the new school's chancellor, and he thanked her as well as the mayor. Because no first lady assumes such public power, the mayor should explain what he's up to. Instead, DeBlasio blasted questions as the most idiotic thing I ever heard and said they smacked of sexism. See, there you go. Yeah, because she's a woman.
Oh, okay.
What does she bring to the table? That's an idiotic question. That's a sexist question. See what I mean? It's always deflecting by always labeling.
Yeah, but here again, I'm not going to blame the libs for that. I'm going to blame the people that react to that as the fucking problem, because the people that are reacting to that label need to be reacting by saying, "Fuck you, you're stupid," and I'm still on point. That's the only way that ever stops. When you give weight, if you give weight to that and you stop your argument because somebody calls you a sexist, you're basically admitting that you are.
Yeah.
So don't say, no, I'm not, and you're a fucking fool. What about my answer? That's the answer. That's how you stop this shit. People can't call you names when you don't give a shit about the name that you're called.
Right.
That's where the conservative side is fucking losing, because they're so scared of that label.
Yeah.
Fuck the label. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. DeBlasio's wife is black. Okay?
So?
If you weren't aware of this. Well, this brings up the next point.
Oh, okay.
So there you have it, taxpayers. Shut up. No doubt racism will be leveled if anyone dares to ask who elected McCray.
Okay.
Well, again, this is DeBlasio's wife.
Yeah.
She's a black woman. So if anybody even questions it, racist!
And that's where you just got to be like, okay, fine, I'm a racist, but I'm not willing to give fucking $2.6 billion to the fucking homeless thing.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I don't care what color you are.
Yeah. Nobody elected her, but fixing that seems to be the aim of having her step out. The Post reports she took 6 city-funded trips out of New York in the last 4 months amid talks. She is planning a political run. Well, she told Cosmopolitan magazine last year she would consider it, saying, "I encourage women to run, so I can't rule it out myself."
Yeah, good. That's good.
Because if you're a woman, that means, you have ideas.
And she does have, she has credibility as a person creating laws and policy, because after all, she was the mayor's wife. A lot of credentials there. She was the mayor's wife.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So what are we witnessing in a wannabe poll auditioning on the public dime? But McCray's new role is only half the truth. The other half is that the person New York did elect last November already has 1 foot out the door. De Blasio fancies himself as a national player, even if nobody else does, and clearly intends to use his final term as a stepping stone for his next job. He reportedly dreams of running in 2020 for the for the White House.
For president?
Yeah, he wants to run for president.
I sure hope he's the nominee.
Yeah. The mayor took some 60 trips out of town in his first term, and that number is certain to soar during the election year. He said in January he will go all over the country to spread the progressive message of economic change and fairness.
Fuck you.
Only one problem, his New York results are dismal. Too many public schools remain failure factories, but the homeless disaster in Exhibit A in showing that DeBlasio's progressive message is little more than a prohibitively expensive talking point. When the money pouring into the city coffers he spent on the homeless as if there's no limit, he and the homeless czar, there's a homeless czar.
Homeless czar.
Yeah. Stephen Banks dropped all restraints and took a come one, come all, get it approach.
Nice.
Sounds like Merkel.
Yeah.
Up to the free shelter.
Well.
And boy, they have come with records. 60,000 people still living in shelters even after the city spent many thousands were elsewhere, including the 11,000 now bunking in commercial hotels.
Hold on. You said 60,000?
Well, 60,000 people are still living in the shelters, but 11,000 of them are now bunking in hotels at what was the figure? 170 a night?
175 a night.
Yeah. So
is there 71,000 homeless or 60,000 homeless?
There's 60,000 living on the
state, and some of them
in shelters. Yes. No, this is in the city. This is not in the state.
Yeah, I meant the city.
Yeah.
So there's 60,000 homeless?
60,000 people are still living in shelters even after the city spent many thousand elsewhere, including the 11,000 now bunking in commercial hotels.
So I'm going to divide by
2.6 billion divided by 60,000.
That equals 43,333.
Yeah, you might as well. Why would you need a job if you're making 43,000 a year by doing nothing?
Every homeless person gets $43,000 worth of benefits.
Yeah.
What a deal.
Yeah.
I have friends that don't make that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So what are they spending a night on hotels? 175,000 a night times 11,000.
Well, let's find that out. It's clear. $175 times
11,000.
$11,000 equals 1.9 million.
1.9 million a night.
1.925 per night. Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Times 365. That's only $702 million.
There you go. No wonder it's $2.6 billion a year for homeless.
Only $702 million.
Yeah, almost $1 billion a year just in hotel fees.
And realistically, everywhere else in the country probably doesn't come. If you added all the other 49 other states, you probably don't come up to $2.6 billion. Right?
Yeah.
Whew. My goodness.
A recent Manhattan Institute study shows adults are staying in shelters an average of 383 days each.
Wow.
An increase of 90 days since 2013, Bloomberg's last year in office. The combination of more people coming in and staying longer are a fundamental reason costs are skyrocketing.
Right.
So they're just like, hey, if we go to New York, we can get this, and that. So
Crazy.
DeBlasio's answer to this is make shelters more comfortable and build 90 more of them.
Yeah, seems like a good idea.
For sure. Homelessness is a national problem, with Los Angeles and others battling explosion of tent cities. I don't know if you saw that, but down in Orange County, they had a 2-mile, get this, a 2-mile stretch where it was just all tent cities. in Orange County down there in Anaheim.
Oh, my God.
Yet few cities are in a position to spend the enormous sums DeBlasio has thrown at the problem only to get more of it.
Right.
Of course. Margaret Thatcher famously said the problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. DeBlasio proving her right, and now he wants to get out of town and leave his wife to mind the store.
Seems fair.
So there you go. So that's New York City for you.
Oh, that's good.
So if you want to go over there and live and pay outrageous taxes and all that other stuff,
yeah,
feel free.
Have fun with that.